Hi, fifth graders. How are you doing this week? This is now week 4 of distance learning. Can you believe it? I can. I wish we were back in school. I wish we were back to normal. But hey, we're doing the best we can, and that's all we can really ask for. So thank you for tuning in again. Thank you for trying your best with me. This week is going to be a really fun week because we actually have a really special day this week. Especially in the science world and in the environmental world. So it fits right in with what we are doing. Just some reminders and stuff before we get started. So a lot of people have been struggling with how to turn things in. I did post a video directly on Google Classroom on the stream that says, hey, how you turn things in. And there's a variety of ways in which you can do that. And so whether it's a hard copy of something you have or whether it is something that you do directly within the Google Classroom assignment, or whether you're taking a picture of it and uploading it and then turning it in, I kind of go through those different ways of which you can turn things in. So please, please, please check that out if you are struggling. It is also located on like the homepage for all of our Rockford Middle School distance learning information. So please check those out if you need. We're going to jump right into our lesson for today. So we're going to switch over to our display capture. All right. We are continuing on with our discussion on the human impact. And this week is actually when we have Earth Day. So Earth Day is April 22nd, which is on Wednesday this week. And so we're going to be doing activities this week that focus on our impact on the environment, as well as how we can help make it better. And so Earth Day is really a celebration all about that. So just again, some reminders. We've been seeing a lot of wonderful kids during office hours from 9 to 10, Monday through Friday. All of your teachers are there. So please, 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 we'd love to see some more new faces, whether it's just coming in to say hello. Even if you don't have any questions, it's just nice to check in to see how you're doing, to hear from you, because we miss you. So please just pop in. We're also getting questions through Google Classroom during that time. So please just jump on there and ask us in real time. It's a lot easier to explain things through a video chat than typing out a response. And then we can even show you things through there. So please make sure you jump in there. There are additional math and science office hours. Right now, when I'm recording this, it's scheduled from 3 to 4 o'clock Mondays and Wednesdays, but we'll let you know if that changes. We had a pretty low turnout this week, so we might reduce that to just one day this week, so I will keep you posted on that. Please make sure, especially as we move forward, you turn things in on Google Classroom. Like I said at the start of this video, a lot of kids are starting to like email us or just share things directly with us, but please, please, please turn them in on Google Classroom. I know that I am going to start not counting it as in unless I see it on Google Classroom, just because it is such a mess and such a headache to try and find when it's just shared via email. So please make sure you check out the video for how to do that. And if you still have questions, contact us during office hours or any other time. Ask questions when you have them. I miss you guys asking me a million questions a day. That's what I'm used to. And those questions have dramatically decreased, which worries me because I'm sure you still have them, if not more questions. So whether you're asking it on a Flipgrid, whether you're typing it in the Google Doc, whether you're asking me directly on the assignments, ask questions, please, please, please. And then just a recommendation from us teachers is just to set a schedule and follow it. Again, you should be doing about 20 minutes of classwork per day for each class. So 20 minutes of science on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Just keep in mind that this is a lot less than we normally do. Normally you do 53 minutes of science every day. So we're just asking for 20 minutes of classwork per day, per class. So that's just about 2 hours total. Again, taking breaks in between. You can follow your normal regular class day if you like, or maybe you like doing science first thing because it's the best class. Just teasing, but really. So making sure that you just get your work in and get those things done. Use the checklist. That's what it's there for. I do also want to remind you, you need to have attendance done for each class that takes attendance. There are some kids that are just checking in with me and some kids that are just checking in with Mrs. Sharp or Mrs. Reek. So please make sure you check in with each of your teachers so that way we know that you're working on that stuff every day. Now, for the bigger announcement for this week, in the past, our big idea projects have been kind of our first priority. They are now kind of a lower priority. I want you to do your regular classwork first for all of your classes. Then you can do the big idea project if you have time afterwards. So think of it more as an extension, but please make sure you do your regular classwork first because you're starting to get a little bit more work in math and science and reading and in social and all your other classes. So do that classwork first. Make sure that that stuff gets done. Then you can focus on the big idea project because they are still wonderful projects. They are still really fun. They do still combine a lot of your classes together into one project. Um, and hopefully they are a little fun. Hopefully that they are a little bit challenging. They're supposed to be. Remember, school's supposed to be a little tough. So again, regular classwork first, then big idea project. I will still have a place to turn that in on my Google Classroom page. Now, we left off with global warming. So remember, global warming is when the overall climate is starting to change. It is starting to increase, not just the day-to-day weather, but the overall climate. Now, Earth is right now a Goldilocks planet. So just like the story, our temperature is not too hot, not too cold, it's just right. So here in the picture on the right, part of that is because of our location and our distance from the sun. We're in what's called the habitable zone, meaning it's able to be a habitat for us because that temperature allows us to live, right? Water is at a liquid phase during most of the temperatures unless it gets below 32 degrees, but there are just the right conditions for us. But our planet is starting to heat up, and 97% of scientists agree that we are the ones, humans are the ones that are causing this change. Now, in the past, the global climate has changed. It has increased in temperature, it has decreased in temperature, but overall, we are now seeing a dramatically fast increase in our global temperature. This is causing a lot of really negative effects. We are starting to see a lot more heat waves. We are seeing the ice caps starting to melt, which causes sea levels to rise. This is actually putting many places that are normally above water underwater. Our storms and hurricanes are becoming stronger already, and they are going to continue to get worse as time goes on. Floods and droughts will also happen more often. Some animals will not be able to adapt. So we're going to start to see some of these animals become extinct because they cannot adapt to the changes that are happening. So for instance, in the Arctic, in the Antarctic, where the polar bears are, they are starting to lose their habitat. With this ice cap melting, they are normally land creatures. Polar bears are good swimmers, but they're not supposed to be ocean creatures. And so when they start to lose their ice caps, they're starting to lose their habitat. So they're having to swim for miles and miles and miles to find food. And a lot of them are not surviving this change. So that's why we're starting to see a decrease in that population. So obviously this is a lot of doom and gloom, right? This is not looking so good. And the reason why that this is happening is because of this greenhouse effect. And again, this is something I touched on last week, but I wanted to kind of refresh our memories because this is kind of a complex topic. So a greenhouse is usually something that a glass house that we normally house plants in. And what it does is it kind of traps in the heat. Now, our atmosphere is what keeps the Earth's temperature stable. And so this atmosphere is made up of a mixture of different elements of water vapor, of carbon dioxide, of methane, nitrous oxide, and the ozone. And right now it's at a really good balance. And so when the sunlight enters our atmosphere, some of it is absorbed, and some of the sunlight that hits the Earth is reflected, meaning it bounces back out into space. But with our atmosphere, this actually can trap in some of this heat. Now, carbon dioxide, also known as CO2, and other gases in the atmosphere trap this heat, keeping the Earth our nice warm temperature that we appreciate. Right? Mars is very, very cold because it does not have an atmosphere like ours. And so we rely on this atmosphere in order to keep us warm. The sun warms the Earth and some heat is reflected back into space. Some is trapped by the gases, keeping it to that Goldilocks temperature. But what's happening is we are starting to add more of these gases into our atmosphere than normally exist regularly in the atmosphere. So us humans, we are adding things like carbon dioxide and methane to our atmosphere. These added gases make it trap more heat. So less heat is able to escape and more heat is actually getting trapped in around our Earth's surface, making it warm up. So these greenhouse gases, they can come from a variety of sources, but I just listed kind of the top ones here. So burning of fossil fuels, meaning coal, oil, and natural gas for energy, all emit, meaning give off these greenhouse gases. And next week, we're going to start to talk about natural resources, in which we talk about fossil fuels and natural forms of energy, such as wind and solar and things like that. But when this happens, when we burn fossil fuels, we release carbon dioxide and other gases into the atmosphere. Other things that can cause this is electricity and transportation, like cars and trucks and planes. These are responsible for almost 60% of carbon dioxide emissions. That's a lot. And the rest of it usually comes from agriculture, industry, and factories and energy. So, what I've put here on the right actually is we can see that over the past 1,000 years, it's been pretty steady. Our carbon dioxide, our methane, our nitrous oxide were about an equal part, or pretty level. But here is where we start to have our industrial revolution, where we start to industrialize and build lots of factories and things like that, and we just see them start to whoosh, skyrocket. So humans start to build things, and all three of these start to increase dramatically. But now in a comparable chart down here, we can still see too the global temperature and the global CO2. So you can see the temperature does go up and down quite a bit, but overall it's pretty level. And then we can see our CO2 concentration, and that's really level until again about the Industrial Revolution, and it starts to skyrocket. And our temperature here, yes, it does vary beforehand, but now it's starting to go up, and when it would normally start to go down, it is still going up. So these two graphs look very similar. As these gases start to increase, so do our temperature. Now, along comes Earth Day. So in April of 1970, April 22nd, is when a Wisconsin senators decided to start Earth Day. And it actually did start here in the United States, but now it is celebrated all around the world. More than 1 billion people celebrate Earth Day. And so a lot of people come together, and in this picture here of the broom sweeping outside, this is actually from 1970. That's why the quality is a little poor. But these are actually kids that are coming together and cleaning up the streets on Earth Day, on the first Earth Day that was celebrated. We want to protect our planet from pollution, from deforestation, from these changes that we are making that are harming the environment. So a lot of this is about organizing together in order to help our planet. Now, in the past years, they've oftentimes done a lot of marches and a lot of group events. Obviously, this time is a little different this year. We are actually on the 50th anniversary of Earth Day because it is now 2020. And we are having to celebrate it in a little bit different way, kind of like we're having to celebrate birthdays a little differently. Normally, when we have big gatherings, we're going to have to do it from afar, but we can still do things independently. So part of this is trying to reduce our trash and then planting more trees, reducing your energy usage. So for this week, I want you to focus on the good. I want you to focus on Earth Day. So your one required activity is an Earth Day web quest. So I'm going to post a link on Google Classroom under the assignments. And so you click on the link and you're going to actually type your answers directly in the Google Slides that are attached. Then when you're done with it, you can turn it in. So the answers are on the websites that are posted and they will go in order. You can search for keywords if you need it. So let's pop over here to our Earth Day web quest. So each person will get a copy. Yours will look just like this, except yours will have your name up here at the very top. It'll automatically fill it in for you. So it says, journey through the internet to discover fun facts about Earth Day and our planet. And you're like, okay, well, there's nothing on that first page. Now on the second page, I want you to put your name and the date you did it. And says Earth Day is observed each year on April 22nd, journey through the internet. Then it gives you a link. You are actually going to click this link and you're going to open up that into a new tab. Here's your first website that you're going to look at to get your information from. Okay, there might be some pop-ups you can click on those. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to go back here. You're like, okay, so what is this looks small. Let's zoom in. So you can zoom in a couple different ways, but this right here works. So you can kind of zoom in. Let's go, oh, that's smaller. Let's go to 100%. Oh, much better. Okay. So now I can double click in the boxes to type my answers. So I want to delete that. So what is the purpose of Earth Day? That's my first question. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to read through I'm going to record my answers. So again, type it right in this document here. Now, when you're done with your first article, it'll go through the first couple pages. Then you'll see this page actually starts a new article. So you're going to click the link and you're going to fill in the answers. Again, just double clicking on the boxes to type your answers. And then so you'll go to 3 different sites total. And then once you're all done with that, you're going to turn it in, right? So just click the blue button on the assignment to turn it in. Now, since there is only one activity for this week, I did put a different activity. It is a optional but strongly encouraged other Earth Day activity. So what you're going to do is you are actually going to create an invention. Now, this is something we would do in class normally. So again, I really want you to get it done if you can. If you're super stressed for time, I mean, that's fine, but try and get it done if you can. So again, I'm going to attach this document so you can type right in it. You'll have your own copy. It'll say so-and-so Earth Day invention. So you're going to double click in the text boxes in order to type on them just like we did on our previous document. So your goal for this one is to make a machine or invent a machine to help save the environment and to make the world a better place. And so it'll kind of walk you through, okay, we want to brainstorm some things, then we want to get into the specifics about how you're going to make it and how is it going to run, those kinds of things. And here you're going to add a picture. So you can either draw it on paper and insert it, or you can draw it on Google Drawings on here and insert it in here. So I've gotten a couple directions there for you. Now, the other thing I do want to mention about your activities for this week is the videos. So the videos are optional and they are in the optional part of the checklist, but they are strongly encouraged. Again, these are things that we would watch normally in the classroom, but since we're in a distance learning, I know everyone's situation is a little bit different. So if you don't have time or you have brothers and sisters on the computer too, I totally get it. But if you have the time and you're like, I'm so bored, watch the videos. I picked out fun ones. I picked out educational ones, ones that will help you with the content. So one more thing before I sign off is I want to just remind you, you should be watching these videos first. You should be doing the readings first. Then you should be doing the activities. It's really hard to do the homework before you get the instruction. And this goes for all of your classes too, not just my class, but all the other classes too. Do the readings, watch the videos, all the instructional pieces first, then you do the homework. So I really hope that works for you. I will see you on Wednesday. Please keep asking questions when you have them. I will hope to hear from you soon. Bye.